Give me the news with Grad. News with Gina Grad. Breaking, viral, weird crime, protest, politics. Give me news with Gina Grad. Stuff they saw on TMZ. Joe Biden, Kamala. Beat news with Gina Grad.
The news with Gina Grad.
Well, the New York Post reports that disgraced Governor Andrew Cuomo has gone down fighting, using his farewell address to defiantly declare his treatment as unfair, slam the Attorney General's report alleging he sexually harassed staffers as an orchestrated political firecracker. It was a super long speech. I'm going to spare you 9% of it. Here's the first 90 seconds of Cuomo's farewell speech.
To share some thoughts with you that I've been thinking about over the past few days. There will be another time to talk about the truth and ethics of the recent situation involving me. But let me say now that when government politicizes allegations and the headlines condemn without facts, you undermine the justice system. And that doesn't serve women, and it doesn't serve men or society. Of course, everyone has a right to come forward. And we applaud their bravery and courage in doing so. But allegations must still be scrutinized and verified, whether made by a woman or a man. That is our basic justice system. I understand that there are moments of intense political pressure and media frenzy that cause a rush to judgment. But that is not right. It's not fair or sustainable. Facts still matter. A firecracker can start a stampede, but at one point everyone looks around and says, why are we running? The truth is ultimately always...
I have a couple thoughts. One is I'm fascinated with the American Sign people that are in the corner. Mm-hmm. And I'm wondering, do they have sign interpreters, American Sign Language people, for somber occasions? Do they have the victorious one? Do they have the one where he's proclaiming victory over COVID and has a new book out?
At a concert for song lyrics, they'll get into it as contact.
I was just going to tell you. Kaylin, can you find the... I'll send it.
Yeah, there should be the bad news sign person. You know, is the person that has the right look, the right tone facially, moving in a way. Then there's a celebration. It's just like when they show the pictures of the person like accused of molestation. They're not smiling. They have the frowny face picture. Here's another rule that I would go for. Tell me if you guys would go for this rule. Cuomo puts, everything's loaded into the teleprompter these days.
Right.
Tell me if you would like this rule for any politician or anybody who has to do the, farewell speech
resignation
or
speech.
Any speech of any kind. Either we can load it into the teleprompter and you can just stick to the script and go verbatim, but you have to do 3 shots of Jaeger.
Ooh.
Or
go on.
No shots, but you got to wing it. You know what I mean? Like, get the beats down and just kind of stick with the beats. But we're not going to have this whole thing rolling in front of you. You do the 3 shots of Jaeger, and you can have it scripted, or you can be sober and speak from the heart.
I love this.
Both good ideas.
Yeah.
Really good.
I would watch.
I would. Yeah, I like the idea of them having to do it on the fly, but 3 shots of Jaeger, that would be good too.
Because the 3 shots of Jaeger would make it a little tough to get through the prompt, but there'd be a lot of sidebar. There'd like many women have come together, like Allison, that bitch.
Like I'd touch her.
Yeah. Yuck. Jesus Christ. Rather touch a family member. Anyway, and they'd go back to the script.
That's real good. By the way, his guy that we've seen, his ASL guy, does he not look a lot like Ted Cruz with a beard? Put him back up.
Yes,
he looks so much like Ted Cruz.
It's hard because his postage stamp is
true. It helps.
So small.
By the way, New York Post also reports that Cuomo's hired private movers, 2 U-Haul trucks, to cart his personal belongings to his sister. Do you know who his sister's married to?
No.
So she's Maria Cuomo Cole. She's married to fashion designer mogul Kenneth Cole.
Oh, yeah.
So all his stuff's getting shipped over there.
Wait, am I still on?
You are.
Yes.
I got to tell you guys something.
Please.
My daughter is Bernadette Hogan, who just was made Albany bureau chief of the New York Post. She's 26. She broke the nursing home story. She wrote that U-Haul story.
What?
She had 3 covers the week Cuomo stepped down.
Wow.
Yeah. She's 26. She's a little pit bull.
No
So
kidding.
you're blowing our minds.
During COVID when he'd be like, Bernadette, she's only 5'2". She'd be like right in the front. And so she lived up in Albany and she interviewed those people from the nursing homes whose parents were stuck in there. And she broke that story. And then she just talk about a little Irish fighter like Packy McFarland. So they just made her Albany bureau chief at 26.
Wow.
Oh my God.
All those stories. The U-Haul story is hers. She's unbelievable.
So Cuomo hates her.
What? Listen, I don't know about that, but let's just say I don't think he'll be coming to her bureau chief celebration party.
Oh my God.
Bureau chief at 26.
Imagine that.
No.
She got out of Marist College and she went to New York City and she worked for nothing. She interned for New York One and she didn't like New York because she's a horseback rider and she liked the outdoors. She made me move from New York City when she was 7. She's like, why are we living in New York City? I'm like, so we moved to New Jersey. I was like, why are we living in New Jersey? So anyway, I literally sacrificed my entire life for this freaking kid. Then she didn't like New York. She goes up to Albany and she was, reporting on fires and stuff like that. And then the New York Post, she was 23 years old. They wanted this guy that she was working with who was like a big deal, like 45, but he was on TV. And he's like, no, but there's this kid, Bernadette Hogan, and I think that she's something. So she never had a book out of her hand. She's nothing like me. Like she's well-read. And my Aunt Beth Fallon wrote for the Daily News, which is weird too. Like she had her own column for years. Long and short of it, she goes in with this big editor and he's probably thinking, what the heck is this kid doing here? So he says, Bernadette, could you tell us why you think that you should be given a job at the New York Post? And she's like, well, now my husband's family is from the Village in New York. They own the White Horse Tavern. She's like, well, my dad is, his family owned the White Horse Tavern and they ran it. And my mom is from upstate. We moved to New Jersey. So I think I really resonate with the tri-state. What the frick? So they brought in all the other editors and she got the job. She was a nervous wreck. And I said to her, Bernadette, let me tell you something. She was so nervous at first. My husband was like, listen, Bernadette, just go for like a little one inch article. I was like, no, listen, screw that. I got to Saturday Night Live and I felt lucky to be there. I was like, don't think you're lucky to be there. You deserve to be there. I said, you go for it. I said, stop thinking about it like thousands and thousands of people reading articles. Pretend it's high school. I go, you were a great writer in high school. You're a great writer in college. Just go for it. 1 week later, she had a cover.
Oh my God.
Wow. Was that the nursing home situation or is that another story?
No, you want to know what the first cover was?
Yeah.
De Blasio making the grocery stores have get rid of the plastic bags.
Big story, national story.
Yeah. And then she, she worked hard and then COVID, she was in the right place at the right time. Then this is crazy. She's always had kind of good luck. She was supposed to go down to New York City because no one knew that Cuomo was going to step down. So the attorney general, she did not leak that in any way. Bernadette was on her way down to New York to do a door knock. And you guys probably know being, in the business, that's like it's kind of a scary thing for a kid. And, not that she's a kid, but you have to go to the door and say, can I get a quote? And, they could be like, it's New York. You could get killed. So I'm like really worried. And they said, get to Long Island. Letitia's going to break this. So there she was front and center. And then she had 3 covers that week.
Wow. Unbelievable.
Yeah. And she's been on like like all shows, all TV shows. And you just have to see her because she's like, I do an imitation of her where they go, Bernadette, so can you tell us about, they're like, did he ever harass you? And she's like, right. So I'm a journalist and my job is to, and she will not, she can, but she always starts with, right. And she does that, play politics. She just tells the story and that's it.
Wow.
That's something.
Yeah, that's your niece?
Daughter.
My daughter.
Oh, Jesus, sorry. I got the last names got to the last. It's the hyphenated last name that got me.
It's because
my
husband my husband, like I said, he was a real New Yorker, the family owned the White Horse Tavern. And he's like, when these kids are little, my poor mother, she never had a chance to read us a book. There was too many of us. The poor woman never had a garden. So we had 3 kids. So he would literally read my daughter Shakespeare. And I'd be like, oh, for God's sake, put the Shakespeare away. She's 2 or 3. I hate this. Then he made me take her to French class in New York City. We had a place out in Breezy Point, New York, that was like all cops and firemen. I used to have to drive her to French class in New York City. I was like, oh my God. And I'm so embarrassed because it worked. He'd be like, we're going to go to the Metropolitan Museum of Art. I would literally be like, can we please leave? It's so hot. I'm so hungry. Can we get a bagel? And he'd be like, no, kids, this is Renoir over here. If you watch the brush strokes, this is what it is. Okay. So, look at the way. So she absorbed everything like a sponge and now she's, whistling Dixie at the Post.
Unbelievable.
Brian, did you have something?
I have a tangential question because you made me think of it when you said that she starts every sentence with right. And it makes you think of Dr. Evil, right, starting every sentence. And of course, Mike Myers was a not so loose, impersonation of Lorne Michaels. Did you recognize that when you saw it? Or did Mike Myers used to do that in the offices? I always heard, apocryphally, everyone used to do a Lorne Michaels.
They always did do Lorne Michaels. I have to say, people were always kind of hard on Lorne, like mock him, but I was like, what the hell? This guy gave us a huge opening and it was so great for like my career. I was on there. I didn't do much at all. Chris Rock used to call me Judgy Wudgy because whenever there was a judge, you're like, Siobhan, we have a judge costume that fits Siobhan. Right. And then like I was a sorority girl. I never really did that much, but the guy, let's face it, the show's been around forever. He's genius and it opened up so many doors, but people love to mock him, which is funny. I love, you can mock him with the best of them, but, and maybe I'm jealous because I never really could do imitations. I could do Katharine Hepburn and that was it.
Well, on a personal note, I started watching SNL in 1990. I was, 11 or 12. And within a year, it was easily one of the most important things of my life. This is 1991. I'm putting VHS tapes and programming the VCR to record SNL, watching it the next morning. I'm 12 years old. And you were a big part of that season. You might say, I didn't do much. You did more than Chris Rock. Chris Rock was not very well used in that first season. So, you were a big part of that cast.
No, listen, I like I said, there's stand-ups and then there's actors. And it was my dream to get on that show. And it was it's every week, it's different. So you'd be in knots thinking, am I going to get on? Am I going to get on? So, and it opened so many doors for me. I was just so lucky. And now with the movie with Rushed, people, I've had all these interviews and they're like, so interesting how you were a sorority girl on Saturday Night Live. Now you're writing about fraternity. Can you talk about that? And I was like, I wish I was deep and there was a connection, but there isn't.
Did we figure out if Cuomo's got this, if there's happy interpreters and morose interpreters and bad news?
Did we figure that out?
I think there should be.
Before I rudely interrupted.
No, yes. I to my knowledge, they just the one speed. But remember when who was it? It
Lizzo
was
no.
You're talking about
Megan V.
Oh, the Stallion.
Yes.
Yeah, if you could pull up that clip, that was amazing. But
WAP.
The person who stole the show at every COVID press release for our state, for Newsom and Garcetti, it was this fabulous Black woman who really stole the show and everybody loved her. She had so much personality, way easier to watch than Newsom. And it could sort of catapult you into a certain kind of stardom.
All right, but we're down with my 3 shots of Jaeger.
I love it.
Or off script.
I tuned into the State of the Union for that.
Yes,
absolutely.
Me too.
Well, some good news with FDA approval. Pfizer has been FDA approved for the COVID-19 vaccine. The mRNA vaccine got an emergency use authorization in December, of course, we know. The full approval was expected. Officials hope it will alleviate some concerns from hesitant people because a poll said that 30% of the people who haven't been vaccinated would be much more likely to get it. If it got approval, well, we have it. And though it doesn't actually change a lot legally, many businesses were waiting for it so they could basically mandate employees to say, you got to get this or you can't work here.
I think it's going to be like, you ask someone, can you pick me up from the airport? And they go, I wish I could, but my back's out. Mm-hmm. And then if you sent a chiropractor to those people's homes and adjusted their back, and then you called them the next day and I go, how about that ride? And they'd go, well, my front's out now. I think people who don't want to get vaccinated were using the whole FDA, whatever. Most of these people are people that have probably bought bootleg Tylenol with codeine or something from a guy in a park or something. Yeah, I say they were saying that. I don't think we're going to get a spike in vaccine. Boost. I do not foresee
I think you're
that.
100% right. It reminds me of when you made that great observation decades ago about the morning after pill and how when the religious people were like, wait, no abortions, no birth control, whatever. Like, well, the morning after pill works different. This should solve all of our problems. Like, no, we're still against it. Like, okay, what are you really against?
Yeah, that's how they are.
Well, Hobby Lobby makes a damn fine craft, but I'm wondering how it's going to work because they were one of the stores that said, it's against our religious beliefs. We're not including birth control in our employees' insurance. And I am curious what their vaccination stance is.
That'd be interesting.
Yeah,
I've never seen a Hobby Lobby. I couldn't tell you what it is.
Oh, Joann's Fabrics, Michael's. When you're doing all your own wedding centerpieces, I have been to every one of them.
Yeah. Are there inflatable centerpieces?
It's gotta be.
No.
All right, then I'm out.
Inflatable?
He just bought a chub pack of 80 and just hit them with the compressor and just put them right there. Yeah. Sprinkle a little baby's breath or something on there. Or angel's
ships
breath.
In a box this big.
Right, you get 80 of them, hit them with the tank, push it out there.
That's horrific.
At the end of the night, throw them put a candle on them and put them in the pool.
Give them a Viking funeral.
Yeah, that's right. I don't know. Maybe it's not classy, but it's practical.
This will be a classy affair. Some hot Mayim Bialik news to piggyback on what we were talking about yesterday. She'll be the first guest host of Jeopardy! We're doing the guest hosts again. Thank you, Mike Richards. Now that he's stepped down, that's according to Hollywood Reporter, she's scheduled to tape 3 weeks, that's 15 episodes, when production on the syndicated daytime show resumes this week. Additional guest hosts are expected to be announced now that Mike is out. So we got to do this again. There was 11 or 12 guest hosts, and now we're going to go through the whole vibe again.
My thing with all this stuff was all you got to do is weather the storm for 3 news days. Or by the way, or depending on the timing, if there's God knows what goes down in Afghanistan, if someone starts shooting or something. This story is so yesterday's news. If you just suck it up for 1 day or 2 days, I don't know why everyone's apologizing and stepping down all the time. Same with the Bachelor host and all this kind of, just you ride it out for 3 days and we're done. Something's going to happen in that time period.
You're right. And if anyone should know that, it would be executive producer of Jeopardy, Mike Richards. Did he tell himself to do it? The only thing I don't understand is it's not like he's a household name. We had Aaron Rodgers wanted the job, Mayim Bialik, LeVar Burton, all these people that we love. And coincidentally, the EP suddenly names himself to host.
But is Aaron Rodgers legitimately interested in the gig,
idea.
or does he just want to come, get a first-class flight out to Hollywood?
Wear some glasses and a vest.
Hobnob it a little bit,
Probably.
Because I don't know who wants the job. I mean, LeVar Burton probably would have taken that gig. I don't know. It's a forever. You're going to get compared to Alex Trebek, and you're not him. That's going to be the first decade of that job. But it's a pretty sweet gig. And those shows, if people just want to know schedules, some schedules are tougher than others. Like SNL's probably a tough schedule. Those shows you gang tape like 4 shows on a Friday, like the game show. That's how do you think you get Alec Baldwin to host Match Game and all this kind of stuff? Because they back the fucking Brinks truck up to the house and they gang tape. And it's like, can you work?
You can't walk away from that.
Can you work 9 Fridays a year for $13.7 million?
Indeed,
I think I could pull that off. Yeah.
You're absolutely right. I don't know if we have that sign language thing, but you guys can Google it.
The thing you said, it made me think of was you said you'll always be compared to Trebek, which is true. You're always going to be upheld to that standard of Alex Trebek. Kind of like coming to a new cast on SNL. It's like, the new cast, not as good as the last one. Well, maybe they will be.
Right.
Maybe they'll be even better.
All right. Sorry, Gina.
All right. Something delightful happened on ESPN. Well, that's my opinion. I don't know if the two of you sports fans are going to find it as delightful as the rest of America. But ESPN surprised viewers over the weekend with a little unexpected treat. After airing MLS soccer in the afternoon, ESPN switched and started airing Corgi Racing on their main channel. It appears the race was a rerun of the Corgi races at Emerald Downs Racecourse in Auburn in Washington State. It was
a lot of people there.
Oh, yeah. First broadcast in July. ESPN viewers were left baffled by turning this on and seeing it, ultimately overjoyed. This is the final heat, the big winner. Let's watch the final heat of the Corgi races.
Corgis
And
are
the
pretty
flag
cool.
is up. And Rye came flying off the mark
No,
to the roar of the
Corgis,
crowd.
that's
Angus
right.
the inside and Chance Angus. And Angus has done it again.
Corgis are pretty cool.
Angus, a defending
Queen loves
champion
corgis.
from 2019. He found a second wind.
So thank you,
And came
Angus.
back.
Thank you, ESPN. Must have been a very slow sports day.
Who are the people that can do so much with their dogs?
I have no
My
You
dog
fucking got me, man.
just lays there, farts, and then rolls over. He doesn't move.
He's a service to no one dog.
His name, the only thing he will
He's a service
recognize
dog.
is the word treat.
Right.
You can yell his name 35 times. He just looks at you. You know, Phil. You know, even with the mean voice, like, Phil, I'm serious now. He just looks at you, and then at some point you have to go, treat. And he'll go, okay. And it gets up, and he'll start moping into the house. But these people, they're showing their dogs, they're racing. The greatest dog's the lumberjack competition dog, where they're jumping off the
logs,
pier.
yeah.
The 22 feet, they launch themselves off the end. I mean, this should be an Olympic sport.
It's awesome because they run and they jump and their legs like frozen into the air.
They run down a pier,
Yep.
and it's usually labs, I guess, and then they just launch themselves off a pier that's about 3 feet above the water. And I don't know what the record is, 21, 23 feet. Like, they sail. I mean, that's a fucking dog.
Majestic. I could get behind that
Majestic.
because it's not like circus animals with a bullwhip and a chair. These dogs are having fun.
Yes. But who are the people that have this much time to invest in the dog?
Don't know.
Does anyone have the person in the neighborhood who's the super responsible dog walking their own dog? You know, they have a noise or treat
clicker.
and they have a little fanny pack with some giblets in it or something. And they're like, stop at every curb and every intersection and look. And then if the dog starts walking, they yank the chain. Like, who needs this kind of dominion over a pet? You take the dog out, you shit the dog, you pick up the shit, and you go back in the house, you watch TV.
Yeah.
That's your relationship.
There's no reason to be fulfilled. I forgot. I know somebody whose mom is a champion Frisbee like dog show trainer.
Oh,
Specifically
lesbian.
with the Frisbees.
Let's be honest.
And
the
the dogs
odds.
are obedient and they're down and they're, world-class performers. But yeah, I don't know where you find the time for that kind of thing.
The ultimate use of the dog is the Frisbee guy who launches the Frisbee and then gets down in the prone position.
dog jumps off his back.
launches himself off. He uses the guy like a pommel
Yes.
horse
That's pretty
and
badass.
launches himself for the Frisbee.
That is awesome.
Yes.
My dog, wait, watch this. Treat her, treat, come here, treat. You got to get a load of this dog. She's so ugly. She's pretty. Come here, treat.
We're looking at a.
The funny thing with the dogs when he starts spelling things out.
Yep. Oh, look at that face.
Oh, he likes. She'll only come to treat, so she totally relates.
Wait, are we
like a-
talking about like a husky
That's
chihuahua?
It's like a corgi
Oh my
Siberian
God,
husky.
that's literally okay. That's so funny, Gina, that you say that. So when we got her from the pound, now people call it a rescue dog, but I was like, this is Mutt, and my neighbor they said, what do you think she is? And I said, well, they told me they think she's husky and chihuahua. And I live in New Jersey. My neighbor goes, oh my God, I don't want to think about that.
Yeah, you got to
Painful for the chihuahua.
I'm such a bad student that my son will go, like Phil will be sitting in the same room and he'll go, should we give Phil a TREAT? And I'll be like, hold on.
Wait.
We're trying to
Where's
riot. I need it. Let me get my phone out. Hold on. Let me see. Slow down. Do that one again.
Siobhan,
Phil's already figured it out.
Phil is the funniest name for a dog.
I know. We'll find a good picture.
His name is Phil E. Cheesesteak.
Well,
that's hysterical. My dog is Trudy.
Oh,
I thought she sounded like a Jewish woman from Florida that lived in a condo. And
exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Siobhan, do you ever have anyone come up to you, or have a mutt to, and say, tell you definitively or confidently what your dog is actually a mix of?
Oh my gosh, all the time.
That happened. We told someone, it's a Dachshund Jack Russell. No, that's a rat terrier. It's like, it is? Oh yeah, that's a ratter. It's like, oh, okay, thanks.
My son and his girlfriend are so obsessed with their dog that they had the DNA done of the dog. And it was $300. And they found out it was 93% Shih Tzu.
Worth it. Well, do you guys know what ESPN Ocho is?
That's from the movie.
No.
Oh, what movie is that?
Oh, the Ocho is from, you guys saw Dodgeball.
But it's real.
It's a real thing now.
The Ocho's real?
It's a real channel.
Cornhole.
Yes.
Well, it's not a real channel, but ESPN2 on one weekend every year turns into the Ocho.
Yes. And
it was initially proposed.
Okay, because they did it, and they do all these like fringe sports. They do sign spinning, cherry pit spitting, marble runs, putt-putt golf, arm wrestling, foosball, air guitar. They did a documentary on foosball, and another competition. This one caught my eye when I was reading the layout for the day. It's dodge juggling. And that's where a person on a team throws a dodgeball at 5 3-club jugglers.
No, I like that.
It's funny that we're making fun of the fringe sports, but you said they went from soccer
to Corgi Racing.
All this is better than soccer.
That's true.
Like, ironically, it's all an upgrade from watching people play soccer. Air guitar, Corgi Racing, dodge juggling. I would watch it all over soccer.
The weekend
I have post-traumatic stress from the name dodgeball because I grew up in farm country. So the farm girls and boys were really strong. And I was like such a weakling. And they'd play dodgeball and it would they'd be like hurt so badly when you got slammed with the ball.
Oh, yeah. That was the point.
Yeah, Dawson,
awful.
Sorry.
The weekend we started our dark week, the Ocho carried the grocery bagging championship.
I want in.
Certainly should have been doing color.
A
can of cream corn above Nilla wafers. I don't know about that, Stu. Back to you.
I'm starting to call an audible here. Can we see a few minutes of that? Because I have thoughts. I have thoughts how groceries should be bagged.
Brian was a champion bagger.
Well, he was a bagger.
I'm very good.
Yes.
Yeah.
All right, one more, Gina Grad.
All right. Well, Adam, you have. There's Phil.
We'll show you a picture of Phil.
Look at his span.
My God.
From tail to hind quarter.
Yeah, he's lying on a queen size bed and he's taking the entire bed up.
Natalia seems thrilled.
She's got it going on. That's a beautiful bed.
It is.
This is Phil in a church in a fountain. And Phil, there's a guy who works at the church who just looks at me and goes, "Hey, we can't have your dog in our fountain." I'm like, I wish I had a choice. He gets into the fountain. It's like, well, we'll get him out of the fountain.
How?
Well, how do we do that? He's enjoying the fountain. He will be in the fountain until he's done enjoying your fountain.
You need a crane.
There's Phil sleeping while workmen dig out a tree stump. And he literally gets 2 feet away from their shovels.
2 feet? Must he sit that closely to people working?
He'll sleep next to someone operating a Briggs and Stratton powered wet saw.
Does he have mono?
I don't know. All he does is he finds people who are doing things and he lays down next to them.
On this podcast.
Right.
When we're podcasting.
He does it here all the time.
He just splays out wherever somebody's working, and at some point they'll feed him.
Oh,
I want to come back as Phil.
This is Phil's greatest moment. Is Dr. Drew and myself were doing a podcast in this studio, and Phil decided to check out what was going on in the booth. And he got up on his hind legs and he put his huge paws up on which is, by the way, is 4 feet above the ground.
Yeah.
And he decided to give a look-see to see what was going on inside of the booth where all the equipment was. So we'll put it up on adamcarolla.com. But
cute.
it's a funny picture, right?
It's great.
It's like, what's going on in there? Yeah. Drew's amused as well.
He wanted to see if there was any extra socks he could chew on.
Yes.
Get sick over. So, Adam, we all know you paved the way for this many years ago. Pioneer, people called you names. People burned you in effigy. But now it's cool not to shower. We know because between Ashton Kutcher and Mila Kunis.
As soon as we find good-looking people to engage in gross behavior, then all of a sudden it's good.
Yeah.
When ugly people and fat people go, I don't want to shower, they go, you fucking pig, you wouldn't. But when Ashton Kutcher announced, more wisdom at the hem of the garment of His Highness.
When you become traffic czar of this fine city, you need a good-looking proxy just to go on and like unveil all your policies.
That's
and I was
true.
like, yes,
You need
he's
a
a
puppet.
genius.
Yes.
Yeah, I'll get Kutcher.
Well, I have the patron saint of not bathing, and I think we can all agree that his name is Matthew McConaughey.
Oh, yeah,
He
genius.
He bathes in the sea.
He's getting in on the act. He says he doesn't bathe. He doesn't wear deodorant. And you want to know what he smells like? A man.
Yes.
That's what he says. He wants to smell like a man. Now, his Tropic Thunder co-star Yvette Nicole Brown was asked, what does he really smell like? What does that mean, a man? She says, he smells like granola and good living. That's all I can say. He has a sweet scent that is just him. It's not musty or crazy. It's good living. But you got to be super hot, right? Or else
You got to be hot. You got to be rich and hot.
Yeah.
When I was young, there was I'm one of 5, 4 girls and a boy, and we were Irish, so we didn't a lot of mince words. We never said I love you or anything like that. And so my father said to my brother, "Son, I have something for you." And he handed him a deodorant, and he goes, "If you stink, no one likes you." He gave it to him.
Words to live by.
That was it.
That's all he needed.
That's all he needed.
All right.
Simple, right to the point.
But once McConaughey does it, then it makes it okay for everyone else. But also, you kind of think of how you interpret scent. So, like, if there's a homeless guy standing next to you and you caught a whiff of him, you'd be grossed out. But if that exact same scent was coming from McConaughey, you would not be grossed out.
Take a big whiff.
So he can pull it off.
Yeah.
All right, let's bring it home.
You got it. I'm Gina Grad, and that's the news.
I can't stop talking.
Gina.
That was the news.
That's attractive.
With Gina
That's great.
Grad.
All right, let me hit Solo Stove here. Day or night, a smokeless fire pit from Solo Stove turns summer moments into unforgettable moments. This is a very nice piece of stainless steel quality construction. Start a little fire and use the Solo Stove, whether you're camping or just hanging out in your backyard. Solo Stove creates story-worthy moments without the fumes. Stainless steel construction designed to regulate airflow and burn more efficiently. So little smoke, you wonder, how come there's so much fire? Easy to light, just a few bits of starter. Lifetime warranty. You get a 30-day free return policy. This is a beautiful piece. You deserve it. Step it up. Summer's almost over. Get your stove going and then let it roll into the winter and the fall and all else. It's Solo Stove, right, Dawson?
No one needs a reason to gather around the fire. Solo Stove just took away any reason not to. And now you can get $10 off when you use promo code Adam at checkout. Just go to solostove.com. And remember, you get $10 off when you use promo code Adam.
Rushed is the name of the movie, available in theaters as well as streaming on Apple and Amazon on Friday. And Siobhan Fallon Hogan is her name. So next time you're in LA, come by and say hi to us.
Absolutely. I can't thank you guys enough, really, for having me on. I really, really appreciate it.
Thank you for contributing so much to the show. So I'm going to be live everywhere. Minneapolis, Acme Comedy Co. this weekend. And then I'm going to Catalina Island to do shows in Royal Oak, Michigan, and Kansas City, Missouri, and Solana Beach out here at Belly Up, Chicago, Park West. I'm everywhere. Just go to AdamCarolla.com. And until next time, this is Adam Carolla for Siobhan Fallon Hogan and Gina Grad and Bull Bryan saying mahalo.
You better start praying or you're going to hell, you idiots.